Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Before we start our lesson, we will begin with reciting surah. The first one will be Surah Al-Fatihah, Surah Taha ayat 1 hingga 5, Surah Al-Insyirah, Surah Al-Kafirun, and then Surah Al-Ikhlas by 3 times. After that, followed by selawat ke atas Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Kita niatkan selawat kita ni untuk memenuhi perintah Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala. Kita niatkan selawat kita ni untuk memenuhi hak Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Kita niatkan selawat kita ni untuk mendapat syafaat Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam di akhirat kelak. Dan kita niatkan segala bacaan surah dan selawat kita ni untuk kedua orang tua, keluarga dan seluruh umat Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Kemudian doa sebelum belajar, semoga dengan usaha ini akan membantu pelajar agar mudah memahami dan dibukakan hati para pelajar untuk mencintai ilmu. Okay?
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم طه ما أنزلنا عليك القرآن لتشقى إلا تذكرة لمن يخشى تنزيلا ممن خلق الأرض والسماوات العلى الرحمن على العرش استوى. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ألم نشرح لك صدرك ووضعنا عنك وزرك الذي أنقض ظهرك ورفعنا لك ذكرك فإن مع العسر يسرا إن مع العسر يسرا فإذا فرغت فانصب وإلى ربك فارغب. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل يا أيها الكافرون لا أعبد ما تعبدون ولا أنتم عابدون ما أعبد ولا أنا عابد ما عبدتم ولا أنتم عابدون ما أعبد لكم دينكم ولي دين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد.
اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد. 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 محمد اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل 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 محمد
Doa sebelum belajar. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Allahumma aftah alaina hikmataka wanshur alaina min hazaini rahmatika ya arhamar rahimin. Ya Allah, bukakanlah ke atas kami hikmat-hikmatmu dan limpahilah ke atas kami khazanah rahmatmu. Wahai yang maha pemurah lagi maha penyayang.
Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Ya Rabbku, lapangkanlah untukku dadaku dan mudahkanlah untukku urusanku dan lepaskanlah kekakuan dari lidahku, supaya mereka mengerti perkataanku.
Amin.
Amin, 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 Ya Rabbal Alamin. In this session, we will discuss about topic percentage. So can you please get ready with your notes, page 39 until 42, and your worksheet, page 39 until 43. Here will be the topics that we need to cover in this session. There are 3 subtopics. The first one will be 1.5.1. It's about percentages and their equivalent fraction and decimal. Second topic will be 1.5.2, expressing one quantity as a percentage of another. And the last one, 1.5.3, calculating percentages of quantities. Actually, the types of questions and the explanations of this topic you already learned during your primary level. So take this chance to recap, to recall whatever that you learned, and improve yourself in this topic. Okay? Now, let's start with this 1.5.1, percentages and their equivalent fractions and decimal. Lessons objectives. At the end of the lesson, students should be able to first explain percentage and recognize the equivalence of percentages, fractions, and decimal. Second one, express percentage as decimal or fraction. Steps to success. First, explain that percentage is a fraction expressed with a denominator of 100. Express percentage as fractions or decimal. Change fraction or decimal into percentage by multiplying with 100. Okay? Here are some facts about percentage. Percentage is another form of expression which is related to fraction and decimal. And percentage is a fraction expressed with a denominator of 100. Last one, in fact, fraction, decimal, and percentages are interchangeable. Interchangeable means we can convert fraction into percentage. We can convert fraction into decimal. Same goes to decimal. We can convert or change decimal into fraction or into percentage, or you can change percentage into fractions or decimal. So that's what we call as interchangeable. Now let's start with this example one. Complete the table. Here you can see here we have a table of percentage, fraction, and decimal. How we change the value into percentage, fraction, or decimal. Okay, look like easy, but it also one of the most famous question in exam. Alright, I give you 1 minute to try. Okay, now the first one, the fraction is half and the decimal is 0.5. So what will be the percentage? The answer is 50%. The second one, we have the percentage is 75%. So in fraction, this symbol, right? This symbol means in fraction, you must be out of 100, right? It must be out of 100. 75 divide by 100. And once we simplify, you will get 3 out of 4, right? And the last one, the percentage is 40%. And for fraction, again, this percent, the unit of percent here, in fraction, it will be out of 100, okay? So 40 out of 100. Once we simplify, you will get 2 out of 5. And in decimal, it is 0.4, right? Next, example 2. Express each of the following percentage as a fraction in its simplest form. Remember, if you have this unit, what you're going to do. Okay, I give you 1 minute to try. Okay, now, once we change it into fraction, it will become 40 out of 100. But if you only give your answer as 40 out of 100, you will not get full marks. Alright? Because the question asks you to give your answer in simplest form. So you need to simplify, and the final answer should be 2 out of 5. Next, what be 5 half percent? So express this percentage as a fraction in its simplest form. 1 minute from now. Okay, now 11 out of 2 divided by 100. So apply your KCF, you will get this. And then your final answer is 11 out of 200. Okay, and this one actually we can express like this. Okay, so it is actually 11 out of 2 divide 100. Okay, so I use this one so that it's easy for us to apply KCF. Okay, and don't forget to write down your final answer. Your final answer is 11 out of 200. Moving on with example 3, express each of the following percentage as a decimal. So here your task is to change this percentage into decimal. Okay, 1 minute to try. Okay, now, so here I put 34 divided by 100. So don't forget your previous lesson how to divide how to divide a value with 100. So every whole number, the decimal point will be at the back here. Okay, so we move to the front by 2 places, and your final answer is 0.34. 2 plus 1, 2. So your final answer is 0.34. Don't forget to add 0 at the front here. And your final answer is 0.34. Now, what be 58.9%? 1 minute to try. Okay, now, so 58.9 divided by 100, and then you will get 0.589. Your final answer is 0.589. Next, example 4. Express each of the following fraction as a percentage. Now you need to change this fraction into percentage. Okay, so how are you going to do this? I give you 1 minute to try. Okay, now, every time you want to change a value into a percentage, always multiply with 100. Okay, and here, if it is paper 1, you try to simplify the value first. So here we can cancel out 2 and 100. So 2 become 1, 100 become 50. And then leave with 1 and 50. Leave with 1 and 50. And your final answer is 1 times 50 will give you 50%. Okay, or as you can see here, it is half. So 1 whole will be 100%, correct? So 1 whole will be 100%. So half of it, it will be 50%. Okay, as simple as that. And don't forget to write down your final answer. Your final answer is 50%. Part B, 5 out of 6. I give you 1 minute to try. Okay, now, every time the question asks you to express fractions or any values as a percentage, you need to multiply with 100. Okay, so you simplify, 6 become 3, 100 become 50, and then you should get 250 out of 3% and change it into mixed number, become 83 1/3 percent. Okay, so that will be your final answer for example 4B. Next, part C, 1 to 5. 1 minute to try. Okay, now express first this value in improper fraction. So you should know by now how I get this 7/5. Okay. Don't forget how to convert mixed number into improper fraction. 1 times 5, so 5 plus 2. Okay. Please do not forget this basic that you learned during your primary level. That is very important. Okay. So we change first, we convert first the mixed number into improper fraction, then multiply with 100 and cancel out whatever value that you can simplify. So 5 become 1 and 100 become 20, and we cannot simplify further, therefore proceed with your final answer. 7 times 20 will give you 140%. Okay, so your final answer is 140%. Moving on with example 5. Express each of the following decimal as a percentage. Whatever the question is, as long as the question asks you to express the value as a percentage, remember to multiply the value with 100. Okay, please remember that one. And here, the first part A will be 0.3. So how are you going to convert this 0.3 into percentage? 1 minute to try. Okay, now, so 0.3 times with 100, and you should get 30%. And recall your basic. If it is multiplied with 100, so you need to move the point by 2 steps to the back. Okay, that is how you got 30%. Alright, so the final answer is 30%. Next, part B, 0.05. So I give you 1 minute to try. Okay, now, so 0.05 times with 100 will give you 5%. And how? This decimal value, when we multiply with 100, that means you need to move to the back by 2 places. Okay, so 1, 2, and your final answer is 5%. Don't forget to write your final answer 5%. Next, part C, 2.6. 1 minute from now. Okay, now, so 2.6 times with 100, and you should get 260%. Now, let's move to 1.5.2, expressing one quantity as a percentage of another. And actually, this percentage that we cover in these topics, you already learned during your primary level. Okay, so you should familiar with the questions and the techniques. Learning objectives. Express one quantity as a percentage of another and use this in problems to compare simple proportion. Alright? Our steps to success. Apply A out of B times 100 to express one quantity as a percentage of another. Okay, now for this subtopic, you need to memorize this method. Alright, and A will be the first quantity, B will be the second quantity. Okay, and from the questions, you express the questions in terms of fraction, and then you multiply with 100. Again, I repeat myself, whatever the value, fraction, decimal, and whatsoever the value is, if you want to express it as a percentage, you need to multiply with 100. Okay, so here you need to apply this method to express one quantity as a percentage of another quantity. Okay, here are some tips that you can apply in this topic 1.5.2. Change both quantities to the same unit if you have different unit of quantities. For example, we have minutes and hour, kilogram and gram, things like that, okay? And then, as I shared previously the method, you need to express the quantities in terms of fraction, and then multiply the fraction by 100. Why? Because we want to find out or to express the value into a percentage. Okay? Okay, let's proceed with this example 6. 6 part A, you need to express 10 as a percentage of 40. Okay? You need to express 10 as percentage of 40. So how are you going to do this? I give you 1 minute to try. Okay, now, so the method that I share with you is A out of B times with 100, correct? So you need to find out which one is the first quantity, which one is the second quantity. The first mentioned here will be the first quantity, that means this is A, and the second mentioned here will be the second quantity, and that is B, right? So A out of B, you need to multiply with 100 like this, alright? And then cancel out any value that you can simplify if it is paper 1. But if it is paper 2, just proceed with your calculator. Just calculate by using your calculator. Okay, and here you can see that with the red line, we can cancel both of the 0. Okay, we can cancel both of the 0. And then for the green line, we cancel out that 4 with 100. So 4 become 1, 100 become 25, and your final answer is 25%. Okay. Next part B, 40 cent as percentage of $2. I give you 1 minute to try. Okay, now I will express this 40 cent in terms of dollar and cent like this. So 0 for dollar and 40 cent like this, divide by 2 times with 100. And then we can cancel out 2 and 100. If this is paper 1, try to simplify the value. If this is paper 2, you can directly use your calculator. Okay. So 2 become 1 and 100 become 50. And leave with 40 cent times with 50, and you will get 20%. Therefore, your final answer for this one will be 20%. Okay, now let's see 60 centimeter as percentage of 1.5 meter. So here you need to recall your conversion unit. You need to either change that centimeter into meter or change that meter into centimeter. It's up to you how you're going to do these questions. I give you 1 minute to try. Okay, now mm, in exam, try as best as you can to avoid decimal. Okay, in exam, try as best as you can to divide decimal. So here, how we can how we can avoid decimal? You convert this meter into centimeter. Okay, one tips in exam, As long as you can avoid decimal, try to avoid decimal. If it is paper 1 lah, okay, if it is paper 1. If it is paper 2, it is easy because you can use calculator, right? So, if it is paper 1, one tips in exam, try to avoid decimal. So here I will convert this 1.5 meter into centimeter, like this, okay? And try to recall your conversion unit. 1 meter equal to what? 100 centimeter. And here 1.5. How are you going to make it as centimeter? You multiply. Okay, 1.5 you multiply with 100. And we have 20 here. That means we have to place to move to the back. Why to the back? Because it is multiplied with 100. The number will become bigger than the original value. So 1, 2, and that is how you got 150. Okay? And then cancel out any value that you can simplify. So I cancel out that 0 with the red line, and then the pink line 15 and 10 I cancel out, become 3 and 2, and then 3 and 16, sorry, 3 and 60. Okay, 3 and 60 we can simplify further. So 3 become 1, 60 become 20. Okay, and here we have 20 and 2. So your final answer is 20 times 2, and the answer is 40%. Okay. Moving on with example 7. There are 400 students in a school. 240 of them are boys. Express the number of boys as a percentage of all students in the school. I give you 1 minute to try. Okay, now you need to express the number of boys as a percentage. When you see this kind of questions as a percentage, that means you need to multiply by 100. Okay, and then you must know which one will be your first quantity, which one will be your second quantity. Okay, your first quantity will be your numerator, your second quantity will be your denominator. Okay, and then multiply with 100. So it will be like this. Number of boys out of total number of students times with 100. Right? So boys, the total of boys will be 240. And then the total students will be 400. So multiply with 100. Cancel out any value that you can simplify. And then 4 and 24, 4 become 1 and 24 become 6. And don't forget you have 0 here. Don't forget you have 0 here. So it is 60%. And put your final answer. The final answer is 60%. Next, example 8. There are 100 flowers in the basket. 40 of them are yellow. What fraction of the flowers is yellow? If the question asks you about fraction, so just stop up to fraction. You don't need to find out the percentage. Alright, I give you 1 minute to try. Okay, now, so we just need the fractions of flower that is yellow, and you're already given the total for yellow flowers will be 40. Alright, and you just simply write yellow flowers out of all flowers, and the answer will be 40 out of 100. And always simplify your answers, cancel out what you can cancel out that you can simplify, and 0 here we can cancel it out because we have 1 0 at the numerator and 1 0 at the denominator. Okay, 4 and 10 we can simplify further, and 4 become 2, 10 become 5. Therefore, your final answer is 2/5. And then for part B, you need to find out the percentage of the flower that is yellow. And be careful, sometimes in questions, even your part A is about the fractions of yellow flower, and part B can be another color of flowers. It can happen like that. Okay, so you need to focus with the questions. You read the question carefully. If the part B still want the yellow flower, so you can use your fractions in your part A to find out the percentage. If no, you need to find out the fractions of that flower before you multiply by 100. Okay, so be careful. Okay, be careful. Look the Read the questions carefully. Okay, read the question carefully. And here I give you 1 minute to try. Okay, now, so 2/5 times with 100, cancel out 5 and 10. So 5 become 1, 10 become 2, and don't forget the 0 at the back. Don't forget the 0 at the back. So here 2 times with 20. Okay, and the total the percentage of the yellow flower is 40%, and write down your final answer. The answer is 40%. Moving on with example 9, a survey was conducted to learn people's chocolate preferences. Okay, and here we only focus with part A. So for part A, what fractions of the respondents preferred dark chocolate? Always circle keywords in exam or in any worksheet. Always circle the keywords. And here, what will be your keywords? Okay, find out your keywords. I give you 1 minute to solve these questions. 1 minute from now. Okay, now, first you need to know the keywords. The keywords here are fraction and dark chocolate. Okay, so circle, fraction, circle, dark chocolate. And your first step, you need to know the total respondents. And here you need your skills to read graph. Alright, and for dark chocolate, we have you read here. Okay, so dark chocolate will be 400, milk chocolate will be 800, and white chocolate will be 400. And the total respondents will be 400 plus 800 plus 400 and 1600. And then dark chocolate will be 400. Therefore, dark chocolate out of total respondents equal to 400 divided by 1600, and then cancel out whatever that you can cancel out and simplify the value for N16 and left with 1/4. Okay, and your final answer is 1/4. If this is paper 2 questions, you can just uh, directly calculate your answers by using your calculator. Okay, but B, you need to find out the percentage of the respondents preferred milk chocolate. I give you 1 minute to try. Okay, now be careful. For your first questions, part A, you are asked to find out fractions of dark chocolate. And now you need to find out the percentage of milk chocolate. Okay, percentage of milk chocolate. So you cannot use that 1/4. Your answers from your part A, you cannot use that one because 1/4 is the fractions for dark chocolate. And here you need to find out first the fractions of milk chocolate, then you multiply with 100. So milk chocolate here is 800, this one. Okay, milk chocolate will be 800 and the total respondent will be 1600 times with 100, and then you should get 50%, and the answer is 50%. Example 10. A serving of ice cream contains 5000 calories. 200 calories come from fat, what percent of the total calories come from fat? And I give you 1 minute to try. Okay, now, so always circle keywords, and here you need to find the percent of the total calories come from fat. So, percentage calories from fat out of total calories times with 100, and then 200 divided by 5,000 times with 100, and then you should get 4%. And the answer for this one is 4%. Okay? Now we move to 1.5.3, calculating percentages of quantities. Lesson objectives. At the end of the lesson, students should be able to explain that a percentage is a fraction out of 100. Second, compare a parts of a whole using percentages. And last one, explain equivalent ways of calculating a percentage of a quantity. Steps to success. First, write a percentage as a fraction out of 100. Second, use the percentage given to calculate the value of a part of a whole. And last one, applying multiplicative inverse to find the unknown value. Please copy this down in your notes. Now, let's proceed with example 11. Find 40% of 300. And actually, you already learned this topic in your primary level, so I will give you 1 minute to try these questions. Okay, now if you have this unit, make sure this 40 is out of 100. Okay, so 40 out of 100 times with 300 of mean times, so times with 300, and then the answer should be 120. Okay, the answer should be 120. If this is paper 1, you can cancel out any numbers that you can simplify before you calculate the final answer. Example 12, 20% of a number is 40. What is the number? Okay, I give you 1 minute to try. Okay, now this unit means you need to every time you see this unit, that means this value is out of 100. So here is 20 out of 100 of min times a number. You can use any alphabet, and here I'm using y is equal to 40. And then if this is paper 1, you try to simplify the number first because it is a big number, and I will have 1 out of 5. So 1 out of 5 times y equal to 40. Now, to find the number here is representing by this y, okay? We need to remove whatever value in y side, okay? So here I need to remove this 1/5. And how to remove this 1/5? On the other side, it become like this, okay? Terbalik, this one, okay? It become like this. And this one, what we call as multiplicative inverse. Okay, I repeat myself. If you want to remove any value in this y side, okay, the unknown value side, you need to use multiplicative inverse on the other side. That means you need to terbalikkan the value. Numerator become the denominator become the numerator. Flip or reciprocal, right? Then times with 40. Therefore, y is equal to 200. And the final answer is 200. Next, example 13. An item is given 15% of the original price of 200. What is the amount discounted from the item? Discounted amount means discount. Okay, discounted amount means discount. So here the question asks you about what is the value for discount. What is the discount? Okay, and amount discounted 15% times with 200, and then 15% mean 15 out of 100 times with 200, and you should get 30, and the answer is 30. All right, remember this one. Amount discounted mean the discount value, the cost of the discount given. Example 14. The monthly budget for the front of the house is 5,000. My mother spent 10% of the budget on fresh flowers. How much did she spend on fresh flower? Okay, the percentage given is about fresh flower, and then the question asks you to find out how much did she spend on fresh flower. I give you 1 minute to try. Okay, now fresh flower equal to 10% times with 5,000. 10% mean 10 out of 100 times with 5,000, and you should get 500. And the answer is $500. Now, Example 15, the last example before we stop. Out of 1,200 students in a school, only 85% pass. Find how many students fail. Be careful with this one. 85% is a percent of student who pass in the exam. Okay, but the question is you need to find out how many students fail. I give you 1 minute to try. Okay, step 1. Percentage students fail will be 100 minus with 85%, and it is 15%. And the question asks you how many students. That means you must give your answer in value, not in percentage. Okay. So step 2, total students fail. Use this 15% times with the total 1,200, and then your answer should be 180. Okay, this will be the last part in our session. Don't forget to complete your notes. Alright, and as usual, we will reciting doa. Thank you so much, and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Doa selepas belajar. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Allahumma inni astaudi'uka ma 'allamtani fardudhu ilayya inda hajati ilaihi wala tansani ya rabbal alamin. Ya Allah, sesungguhnya aku menitipkan padamu ilmu-ilmu yang telah engkau ajarkan kepadaku, dan kembalikanlah kepadaku sewaktu aku memerlukannya kembali. Dan janganlah engkau lupakan aku kepada ilmu itu, wahai Tuhan yang memiliki semesta alam. Amin.